let's talk about loss aversion for a moment and the way our minds work, okay? And we all have this in common because we're all essentially, at the end of the day, wired the same way, right? So with loss aversion, people are far more motivated by a desire to protect what they have than to gain something new. But what is the something new? We don't know, because it's a dog that doesn't bark, okay? We don't know, for example, that if we were to take another path or do another action, we don't know what it might lead to. We don't know what opportunity it could have brought. I mean, how many of you are married? How many single? How many not sure? Yeah. Most people eventually get married, except for me. But I want to, so be on the lookout for me, will you? Okay, I'm willing. I'm willing to do it. Okay, does that sound exciting? I'm willing to do it. I'll give in. Oh gosh, no, I'm kidding about that. I think it's a great idea. Okay, so so here's the thing. How many of you were kind of surprised at the way you met your spouse? So, but see, like, are there so many roads that could have been different where you might have never met, right? I mean, you know, like a chance, you know, every time something happens, maybe especially something that you're frustrated with, right? Like, we'll use the example of the airplane, right? You know, so your flight is canceled, and now you got to rework it. But you get on another flight, and you meet Mr. or Ms. Right, right? That wouldn't have happened, right? It's a dog that didn't bark. It just happened by accident, synchronicity, right? Luck. Luck is definitely, I think it exists, okay? And I'd rather be lucky than good any day of the week, as I always say, right? But, you know, when you miss that plane, or the flight is canceled, you're upset because you lost something, right? You lost what you thought you had. Oh, I got this flight booked, everything will be fine, I'll just get there, blah, blah, blah. But then you gain something else that you didn't know was available until you lost something, okay? I just really think this dog that didn't bark concept is so important. And the way we treat loss aversion is just hugely important. I mean, nobody ever says, how many of you own income property in the room? Okay, that's a good 75% of the room, right? How many of you had, the last time rents were due, how many of you had the tenant pay the rent? Okay, well, okay, so they shaved some off, right, over some repair issue or something? Yeah, okay, all right. So pretty much every hand went up, right? But how many of you had a celebration when you got the rent? Nobody. You just expected it, right? But if you didn't get it, you would be mad, right? Okay? So it's just a funny way that we treat things. It's the way our psychology works. If you have $10,000 and you lose it, you will be upset. But if you didn't gain $10,000, you weren't upset. Because it's a dog that didn't bark. You didn't know it was there, okay? So it's very important to understand our own psychology. If you look at every really, really successful person in the world, they were getting opportunity. They didn't care as much about what they might have lost as the risk they were willing to take to go and gain something. And there's an old saying, I say it all the time, nobody ever got rich saving money. Nobody ever got rich saving money. That's certainly true, right? So if we look at the world like, let's protect what we have, let's save, 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 we're going to live a very meager existence, okay? Rather than looking at it with opportunity. You know, what could I gain? What could I gain? And mostly, we only know what we could gain by looking at someone else and what they've done, okay? So the really, really highly, highly successful people, though, in the world, they don't even look at someone else. They completely blaze a new path. There's that old saying, it's great. Don't go where the path may lead, make your own path or something like that, right? I just ruined that. But they're like, you look at the late Steve Jobs, right? It's a good example because he thought of things that nobody had really considered or at least not implemented, okay? There's who's that? I think it's a George Bernard Shaw quote. He says, "Some see things as they are and say, why? I dream of things that never were and say, why not?" Our minds do not work that way. We've got to train our mind to work that way, okay? So one of the action items is, every month, when you get your rent on your properties, you celebrate. What do you think about this idea, right? Okay? Because you don't pay attention to that most of the time, right? When things are working, it's just expected. It's how it should all work, right? But that's a dog that didn't bark. There was no problem. Everything worked. Okay? Good for you, right? So we will do more to protect what we have than go and gain something else.